And it's about time to find out who's going to make it to the semifinals. The Valorant Vanquisher series by Eurat is where some of the best teams in the world, some that still need to flourish and show themselves, got the option to win a good bit of prize pool. In the meantime, Aslan is only giving it away. The fuck, no way that this thing still explodes. What a chaos. What?
It's all over the place, but it comes out nicely for Big. Alexar just in the last second slips around from ropes. He's going to take another peek. He's watching an angle to see if anybody comes across. Has to play a little bit wider now because the smoke is in the way. The gravity well is going to keep one player at bay, but not Magician. He just jumps on through. Have a lot of room to work with. They could go B if they want as well. It's just the one player over there for Big, but in a 3 versus 2, Big have control over the central part of the map. Wherever ALLTHERAGE go, they'll be sure to know.
I'm pretty sure Magician is going to write a big complaint mail after this tournament. How we pronounce his name, I'm convinced. At the same time, I love that we get the UDD references, because pulling the rabbit out of the hat is something he surely was capable of in the past, as in the meantime he's leading the charge. Gop is just around the corner, and he's going to have all the information, but they're not taking a direct route. Not at all. The wall is coming in, and the right foot from Gop only gets him one, but now the wall is working against him. He has to make the move into the hands of Opnox, and that's a sinister and unfortunate start for them.
It all worked out nicely from that early engagement, which was very awkward. As soon as they could get those 3 kills, they were able to hold in that position, gain that information on what ALLTHERAGE were really wanting to do on their attack. They really struggled to make a decision head on, and because of that, Big take that first pistol. It was not a surprise that we'd go the distance with these two teams, and I'm actually impressed with how Big have shown up overall. ALLTHERAGE, I knew they would be good. I knew that they would be a top team that people should definitely be paying attention to for Stage 3 of the Valorant Champions Tour if they decide to stay with this roster. For Big, it's been disappointment after disappointment, but a win over this team would be a big, huge achievement for them overall, even though it's just a quarterfinal.
True, and I mean, considering yesterday what kind of punishment they had to survive against Wave, now the Wave seems to strike and hit ALLTHERAGE massively. And now Aslan is trying his best.
Spike down mid.
Heading down 2. It's only 1 man left. It's not getting any easier right now. And poor Magician, what kind of trick does he have? Oh, well, cutting 1 player in 2.
2-0, quick and easy. Big are able to make sure that things don't go too wrong. They just lose that 1 player overall. And it was in the hunt down for that final frag. Aslan just gets headshot with a chef. Can't say much about that, but instantly traded out from Big. This map has been around a long time, and Big seem to have a really nice strategy going towards it. I think the concern overall for ALLTHERAGE is you have people dramatically changing their role. FEQ on the Jet has been great across this series, but moving on to a Breach even, it's a big change on how this agent and how FEQ might have to play. Lots of utility thrown in, all of this stuff strung together, the gravity well, the stun from the Breach, makes it impossible for Bishop to move from that spot. Pain Shell gets the full damage. What a great set play from ALLTHERAGE there.
The room Opnox has a pink. That's Korea, no. I thought he had seen him, no chance. And this is a lot of room that he has up. Great stuff coming in. He also got the paranoia on the player back.
No, he doesn't expect more.
He even paranoiaed him. He got him blind, and it still doesn't work.
I don't think he expected that player on that corner, though. The paranoia was just there to clear it off.
No way.
Maybe just thought there was 1 player there instead of 2. Now, this is an awkward fight, but ALLTHERAGE still have the numbers in their advantage. Aslan's in a nice tight corner that might not be checked in time.
Brilliant.
DQ just gets the timing perfectly to allow the Astra to get onto the high ground. Destrian is there to meet Alexar, but he's managed to slip through this gap where nobody is looking. Turret is actually going to find that information that FEQ really needed in that fight. A good first round for ALLTHERAGE, and yeah, Big maybe overstepping their boundaries a little bit with that aggressive play.
Turret is always like this little annoying cousin. Every time you show up, asking you something. Can I play your Nintendo GameCube or something? Back in the day.
Yeah.
Though I never had the GameCube, to be fair.
No, neither did I, actually. We were a PlayStation house for the longest time.
I was a I never had a console in my life, actually.
Oof. No PC pleb.
Only PC. Either way, there comes a concussion. Seems like they can eat their own medicine, as they earlier found a massive crack onto the Sage in the form of Bishop. What a slow approach this time around.
Bishop's going to put that wall up early. It's a nice play. It's going to be instant. Broken at least, but through the smoke, Bishop tries to get the damage in onto Kriegel. He has no idea how many players are over on A main, so it's going to take a lot of his attention away from the rest of the map. B is going to be attacked once more from ALLTHERAGE. Utility's dedicated. Actually, Dreamer's putting the alarm bot stops any player from peeking in that spot. Astra Utility planted there too might mean that they can get something planning together. ALLTHERAGE seems to be really good at using that utility. But Big are really good at holding on to mid.
From 3 rounds ago, we saw chaos descending in mid. This time around, calm approach over on Heaven, where Ashlan, the killing machine from Big, is just awaiting individuals to run in his crosshair. Satchel, I love the delay function of this thing, because it's just holding him up. Can I push through? Will he activate it? It's not happening. The duel of Ashlan and Big, more like Gop. The guys are only playing matchmaking as a duo together. Right now, going in the direction of holding down the sides. Team building measures that seem to work for the German squad. As it's still, Spike that could be updated. And taking a look at it, Figure has one hell of a task up ahead of him. 41 HP, but definitely no plant coming.
The respect that Big gave there just to stop that engagement. Godby's always got the right idea with fights like those. Big, yet again, are very good at holding that mid to B control. They're not allowing ALLTHERAGE to set up these split executes, and they're just chipping away at them bit by bit. Now, for ALLTHERAGE, they do have money to still buy, and they have a Rolling Thunder. Seems an A execute is likely to be coming through yet again. No Astra Utility this time. And you can see the Big are starting to respect it a little bit more. Maybe playing off some off angles. Maybe they're going to attempt to put that wall up yet again very early on. The similar sort of play is set up actually towards B, which catches nothing.
As they try to best destroy that wall, a little hole they left in it. ALLTHERAGE in an uncomfortable spot, and definitely more defender-sided map working in favor of the Germans, who so far didn't have to fight too much opposition off the A side, did they?
Not at all. Bishop's taking a very aggressive duel. He's going to have them line up one by one. Can't get the 2 kills together. DQ gets the nice peek, but Alex are in the same position that we just saw the Sage go down in. Takes over what was left to do. Now the Cosmic Divide is actually going to be used across to sort of split things through. It allows the Resurrect to come in. And it's a defending Cosmic Divide as well. Actually helps ALLTHERAGE get that res in, get the reset going. And Obnox yet again going for an aggressive, like he might catch them as they rotate, or at least gets information on how they're trying to approach this.
The man is going to knock on the back door any second soon, and he might just make it all
30 seconds.
a big slaughterhouse. Finds the first, the second is granted. All the information gained, paranoia is coming out as well. One man is blind. The triple secured, and what kind of work he just did there. The heavy lifting coming from him. It seems like he makes the Coleman impression look easy. Magician is trying his best, pulling the rabbit out of the hat. Not this time around.
I mean, how many times is Obnox going to be able to get away with that?
Right.
It feels just the good timing, I suppose, to push to get that information. The duel could very much go wrong in some cases. If ALLTHERAGE get this kill here onto Obnox, they know that the B site is free. Well, nicely, gets 3 out of the 4 kills. Paranoia connects again. Doesn't quite catch onto Magician that plays a little bit wider, but it doesn't matter too much. Now Big, having lots of money, lots of ults to work with, and a save required from ALLTHERAGE, might have to give up this round to make it 5-1 to Big. They have 3 ultimates online ready to go coming up.
I gotta say, I'm in love with what we're right now experiencing. Honestly, this is some absolutely astonishing teamwork, and I'm already waiting on Nicholas breaking specifically this map down. If he hears us, you know what your homework is. The teacher's going to ask you after class, but for now, Destron and Co taking having control, and they seem to try to sandwich onto the B side. Plus, there's a little bit of distraction in form of Dream Mass.
You are divided.
Cosmic Divide comes through on the attack. It's going to split up the B side nicely. Obnox using the paranoia to get that early engagement. It's going so well for him. And now Destron slipped in nicely. He has got a worse off gun. He's not going to check behind him, and it's an easy frag for Bishop to clear up. Obnox takes the right Jules, clears it up. This B site is not open for all the rage by any stretch.
It seems like Dreamus is doing his best Obnox cosplay here. He's looking how he can
30 seconds left.
change the history in his direction, but
Last player standing.
he's ready. He can't impress me like that. Fifth is on the boards. And the kind of defense we see right now is impressive. 2 of those rounds have been changed purely by Obnox, which is impressive, considering they have 1-5. And this is where I sort of miss the extremely aggressive style from the side of All the Rage, because this is what impressed me the most, is that they can set the pace, but it seems like they're starting to speed up on 125%.
Now it's a big round. Showstopper, Rolling Thunder, Lockdown, All the Rage have all of the tools they need to have a successful attacking round. But Vega prepped. This mid control is actually being a bit more passive this time around. And Alexar has to escape. The flash is nice for Destron to make up that space. Now, how do Big deal with this? They're 4 versus 5. All of the central control has been given up. Obnox can't get that aggressive spot onto B. Isn't actually going to push at all. Gravegon's just making sure that he doesn't go walkabout too aggressively on the defense.
The kill drift the attackers already done. 0 players detained, and he's getting timed like that.
No.
This can't be happening. I mean, this is a miracle. This could be all the game changer, but Gop's like, I'm gonna make up for that mistake. Flash is coming in. Bishop falls, and let's go. That's the beat.
And the slip around is there from good old Obnox. And this defense has been so good, so much dedicated to allow All the Rage all of this space. But this could get awkward. It's not quite that cut and dry. And Dreamas now in a 1 versus 2. It's to work out where these last 2 defenders are playing from. The turret is going to make it interesting to know that there's a player in ramp. Can they isolate these fights? Can they take it up against Aslan? No, he peeks the right round of the column. Big deal with that nicely.
It's just somewhat unfortunate, though, considering that All the Rage is trying this and that, and this and that. They tried to approach it over the A side in a faster manner, fail. They tried to approach it over mid in some sort of scenario where they first gain attention on the A side, go over mid. Suddenly, Obnox saying, knock, knock, the Grim Reaper's here. And it's just not working at all. And that is so sinister to me. And what is it that they need to change? What is it that they can finally break out?
Freegon's actually managed to slip by the wall to see if there's anybody maybe in the corner, but Big picking these fights nicely, very passive on the A site, and Aslan's now the one that's going to aggress in mid. Get some information, might force All the Rage on this eco to default a little bit differently, reset in different areas, try and overrun Aslan over in mid. Smoke's going to make it a bit more awkward. But Big got good control of this so far, as the rest of All the Rage have to give up that AXX.
Need that back.
It's always the calm before the storm, right?
I mean, it's like pistols. It's the calm before the calm. It's not.
Is it? I mean,
this is where they get the thrifty. This is where, I mean, there is a rolling thunder, so there is some aspects of a storm.
Thank you,
The
Ryan.
lightning bolt could be a showstop.
Oh well, showstop.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
Oh,
There
that
you
was
go.
30 seconds left.
the drift across is traded out very nicely from Alexar, and the flash actually works out to his advantage. Flicks out, gets a kill up to Dreamas, and yeah, this thrifty round might be a bit of a troubling waters for Big.
Off your feet, he says, but making a duel against Aslan. You can't. I promise. I knew from start on that this would have been a mistake. And obviously it is. Brilliant stuff coming in. The paranoia works perfectly. The players can start to drop it. I'm not quite sure if they even heard it. Destrian is definitely feeling it. Aslan on low HP, but he has to dodge the grenade. Makes that one work as he dances around the screen, tries to find another headshot. Has been costly, but hasn't been successful. And this is the sad story from ALLTHERAGE throughout this entire map so far.
Yeah, I mean, Obnox has been the MVP so far. Not only is he getting those kills, pushing aggressively, catching off ALLTHERAGE off guard, his paranoias are perfect. Every single time he gets a key kill. This was just fun to watch, just the flank around. Bishop's not able to do much. And whilst it was a 50 round for ALLTHERAGE, Big did a really good job of making sure it didn't get out of hand. Came down to a 1v1 with Obnox clearing it up. Like I said, he's the MVP, he's 12-3, and one of the main reasons why Big is 7-1 out.
I'm so insanely impressed by the Germans here. Well, at the same time, as we're not taking a look at their semi-final, I'm so interested if they're even going to make it. To be frank, next opponent won't be any easier, but this is wonderful movement. He's dodging it. Aslan is right now showing us a race masterclass.
He's going to get slowed now. He's still going to try and peek. Most of the Sage is there, and the Resurrect is going to be dedicated. A necessity. Halfway in this half at least. ALLTHERAGE need to find something, but Obnox is just adding more damage, fuel to the fire.
And the control is massive. He's already out B.
You know where these last 3 players are now? Oh, do they actually?
Look at the A-sides.
Yeah, like, look at this. Destrian just comes out of nowhere, and suddenly ALLTHERAGE is now into a 3 versus 3. Obnox now doing Obnox things! And whilst Destrian is away from the action, the spike isn't. Look at all of these players around Big, just making sure that they're protecting the cargo. They know where Destrian's going to come from, and trade it out. Nice, man. Obnox, dude.
I mean... if whoever is playing in the semifinals against them is watching this VOD quickly, let me sum it up for you. Let Obnox have no freedom in front of you. It's ridiculous.
I mean, we've seen him play Phoenix today. We've seen him play Sage, I think it was, on Icebox.
Yeah.
Now he's on the Omen, which is a whole different ball game, and he's still performing tremendously well. ALLTHERAGE don't have a handle on him, and they're forced to put together a pretty poor buy again. The bait is there. Maybe forcing Krieg to give up this space, but he's in fact going to double down on it. Once this duel, he's pretty much been taken out of the game because of what Obnox is trying to play. The reload is going to be heard. He doesn't know the Krieg's on as close of an angle, but he still wins that duel. That's so important.
I mean, the thing about him is he's one of the least experienced within the team. The only real teams he played with is 1-5-3, no one heard of. Played a little bit of Nice Cactus and lost to every CIS team. And also played in Sparks with Kuba and Giannis. But that's not impressive. That's not something big. And the matter of fact that they picked him up, that must be that they see something with him. And they definitely do. The only thing Aslan sees is a bullet to the head. Top knows how to reply. The fault line is not going to make a change. They obtain control of the site to some degree.
Remus is in a nice spot to maybe catch these players. Actually, as the wall goes down to the worst time, reveals the tradition. Bishop is there to punish. Obnox again is on the rampage, and VQ gives him another kill. I think he's still 20-4 at this point. But 9-1 to Big. This was a map that I was very concerned about them because it's a very different ball game. But we've seen that they have a much better plan on how to defend this and play at this point. And so ALLTHERAGE do on the attack as it's 9-1.
Yeah, right. And not only that, yesterday they played split. Yesterday they had to start on the attacker side, which could be a game difference. But at the same time, yesterday we were playing against a team that has been in 4 out of 5 scenarios together for 6 months, calling Wave. Lost 2-13. A sinister result. Now, look at that. This is a meat grinder. And this is where the Lithuanians end up at minced meat. At least this one looked.
Cosmic Divide now on the attack is going to allow this execute to come in. The pink shell is actually really good at doing damage, and Godby, I think, was fully flashed. Couldn't really do much to stop this from going through. Aslan on an aggressive angle actually meets on to VQ. Magician managed to sort of teleport his way into the back, using the cover as a way to slip on by.
Do they know? And then they're walling him up. That was the only thing I was worried about. Bishop having a bit of a flank opportunity, learning from his teammate.
One enemy
It seems like he'll just get a bullet in the back of his head anytime soon. No real chance for Bishop. He's trying to escape. Look who's coming. That's second round. But can you really call it a sign of life?
Well, I mean, there's only one more round of this half left. And certainly when it comes to money, I think Big are going to be okay for the most part. Obnox is a bit low, but somebody else can buy him at that point. ALLTHERAGE, a lockdown, maybe a resurrect, maybe a rolling thunder, all could be available in this last round. There could be 4 ultimates going for Big as well. 10-2 at the half would be good. Like, I know 9-3 is still a dominant score, but maybe their attack is what really struggles. Maybe that's where ALLTHERAGE come back into this one.
True.
Making it 10-2, winning a pistol, could be cleaning out nicely.
You know, as good old Tombis told me that stats don't always have to tell the story. I disagree with him. Stats tell the truth. But, you know, it's also very... How do I say?
I mean, it depends what these teams are playing up against.
True. And, you know, talking about that, Big is fairly, let's say, bad on this map. Not abysmal, but bad. When we talk about attack, team, for example, against Movistar Riders, only got a single round on attack. That's absolutely bad. You have to say it is bad. But maybe they have just found a fix. Maybe they've found a change. Whilst Remus is trying to use his live insurance. We want to get on the B side, and we want to get on it now.
You have to respect this lockdown. There's no utility to stop it.
Look at Astra.
Rolling Thunder is going to be used instantly, actually, to just try and go from there. Destrin's made a lot of space, catches off Aslan. This pinch is going to start coming through. If Obnox can get a kill, it would be impactful, but now the Rolling Thunder is going to be used for the attack.
No.
The stun actually connects onto him in an awkward angle. I don't think that was going to hit him overall. But now God B's the one in a bit of an awkward engagement. A 4 versus 2. Last 2 defenders coming in from heaven.
That's ridiculous stuff. Honestly, I would have not expected this to work so well, but Bishop brings Aslan back alive. And this is basically getting the Terminator back on the server, but Magician says, I can't do the save trick, don't worry about it. It's in my repertoire. As Alex falls, it seems like this also might be just Big and their hopes of double digits falling. Magician closing that and putting the seal on it. ALLTHERAGE with 3 rounds, and this is where I have to mention it. That this is where Big might just have issues. Small sample size. 2021 only deliver us 8 maps, so you know, with 2 roster changes in between, you have to take it in a way that it doesn't have to really tell us the entire story. Yesterday was a disaster. If it's going to be happening again, we'll find out.
Also depends on how ALLTHERAGE defend on this map overall. It's still a relatively new roster. Kragon's having a really tough time on this series so far. 3-13. Raze isn't working out. He's going to be playing on mid. We'll have the support more consistently of FQ in that central part of the map. That's where Big are going to be heading first. They have plenty of utility to uproot some of these positions. Boombot's going to be the first one used. They need that first kill.
They definitely. Creon has to bounce back. Look how much room they have created. They claim this territory for themselves already. And this is crazy considering this is usually where you see the defenders move around. And Obnox can now play mind games. Do I go for ropes or not? Dreamers has taken the initiative, hopes to once more claim it as his, but they just play off the edges.
Both have to give it up. It's such an awkward spot. The Dreammaster knows that that area is going to be maybe contested for an execute, so the Nanoswarmer is going to go down. The turret spotting that information on A ramp. It's going to be the first port of call. Dreammaster is going to use that utility off of it. The smoke is a bait. Big are going to be heading over towards the A site. There's 3 defenders on ALLTHERAGE expecting it.
They're on it. Oh, Dream is obliterating Bishop. The man is not able to get anything, and as they pay the depth of nature, great stuff from FQ. Magician is chiming in as well, and well, in a matter of seconds, Chaos descended up onto half. There's number 4. How much do you believe it?
I mean, they just need to be faster on this approach. They get that first kill, and look how quickly that road through. FQ just gets nice flashes. It's a meat grinder of players running in.
True.
They try and take that space, but they don't play around the site, play for the plant. They had everything going for a nice execute onto A, and they just kind of let it fall between their fingers.
Right.
ALLTHERAGE, I know it's 9-4, but I still fancy them for a bit of a comeback.
And if you recall, this is the same we said on Ascent, or at least you did, where Big was having big-time struggles in the beginning 3 rounds as an attacker, where they seemed intimidating. And this one's more a time where they should not be intimidated, as in the meantime, a ridiculous ace from Feku's coming in. He's taking them all out in mid, as once more, little magnet is going to take him all out, and once more, just enjoy and watch. I mean,
Gravity well makes it easy as well. That's probably one of the fastest aces I've ever seen. Is up against West. This is the area where I'm a bit concerned about Big. These flashes have all been impactful for Feku, who's now top fragging in joint with Magician for his team. See what they're able to do now in this first full buy for Big. It's a big round there. 4 rounds ahead of ALLTHERAGE, but I still fancy the defenders to come back in big fashion. Big just needs to get that confidence, to get that momentum. The wall has been broken. We actually see some players slip on through. But his respect is there. Aslan catches onto the tail of Dreamhouse as he runs through. But they're still not playing for the site. They're still trying to fight for this space. They've got good map control. Right now, they're just waiting for ALLTHERAGE to make the next move.
here again, the hesitant Big, isn't it? Slow and steady. That one is taking a bit. Turn it around with the right line.
One enemy remaining.
Amateur.
They know where FEQ is now, at least. I mean, now the spike's going over to B because Obnox has taken a pretty long time, but an effective way to scout out all of this spot.
Obnox again.
30 seconds left.
I love him. I love him for that, really. But here he goes. 8-5 right, and
yeah, big round to win.
yeah.
But a necessary one. And I'm glad that they did it in that fashion. They won the duels that they needed to. They didn't overstep boundaries. Yeah, again, they didn't play for the plant. They just sort of sat there and waited, but it worked out nicely. They're putting the pressure on to ALLTHERAGE to be the aggressor, to take that space, to be proactive in their defense. And when you have Obnox in the stupidest positions, he's able to just punish that. If you try and go for a mad flank, he's there waiting for you because he already knows all of the mad flanks in this map. He knows what you're trying to do.
Obnox has at least taken the room. Funny-wise, he's not afraid to obtain control of this area of the map that he always attacked. And ALLTHERAGE passive in their approach, leaving only Breach on the side. Sure, nice and great. But the way they hold the A side is a little worrying, because Killjoy would never know when they find a way to approach through it. They could destroy the wall, but other than that, nothing to really hold them up from an A side push at the moment.
Rolling Thunder could be useful on the defense. He had a shining time and starts off with that first kill onto Aslan. Immediately going to rotate away, actually. Not going to fight for anything on B. The B site is completely open, and if that's something that God B can spot out, he can use it against ALLTHERAGE.
Look at the marker. I think he has said something. I could imagine that he said something along those lines. Here comes the sneaky smoke. No, Destrin is first of all eliminating the good old lurker in the form of Obnox.
30 seconds left.
And they'll go for it. B side is where they start to put down their besieging tools, but Feku's having none of that. Alex get out, Gob as well. And with those amazing and astonishing cracks, it's not much more to deliver. Only Bishop that could make a difference. Revive would be still there. Reckless.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought he was going to dedicate the... I guess they just said, no, save it for another round. This didn't go our way. Maybe they still have enough money to work it. But there's spatterings of space that Big can take because ALLTHERAGE are stacking people in certain areas where they want to take these fights. In fact, no, Big don't have any money at all, so they've decided to not dedicate the res to save for another round. And ALLTHERAGE are slowly creeping in behind onto Big. 3 more rounds, Big can take this quarterfinal. All the Rage, however, more than happy to put this pressure on, and PQ especially, really starting to feel themselves and taking areas like mid. It's coming second nature to him.
Patience is key. This is something we have learned. When we talk about big attacks. I mean, considering what we saw on the defensive side, the way they slowly sneaked up behind their opponent, it actually makes sense to see some similar style on their attack at the moment. The smoke in mid is not leaving any distraction. All the Rage, just 4 rounds away from the tie. And remember, Icebox got close there already.
They're rotating away. Or are they just changing their position even? Yeah, the Sage is actually moving across. They had the right players over on this A site. Now it's going to be pretty late with getting that information. And Dreamers actually wins that duel for the smoke. Just getting the timing off the turret. That's so good. Omnox is trying to actually make his way in. Have a wonky rotation for all the Rage. Big enough starting to have impact. The Rolling Thunder is a good one for the defense, but it's actually Alex that comes out on top. 2 versus 2.
Oh, it looked like it could have been possible. A lot of damage Magician has got. Gop is still trying to win such a duel, but he still loses. He puts him blinded on 54 points of health. No opportunity to obtain control. And Alex got to make a change left-hand side. Another one away. Can he clutch it? No, he can't. Alex was on it, and it would have been just that clearance for the big paw. But it ain't happening. And this was the fight where I thought Gop had to win it previous.
Almost big for Alex overall. Another awkward engagement. Dreamers getting that first kill from a safe position and not being traded out was pretty big. Actually, now Big are going to save. They still had the Resurrect. They're still building up ultimates, but this could be round number 8 for All the Rage to pull through. The money is still pretty tight for them. They can pick up a 50 here. They can stop this pull of power, maybe break this momentum that All the Rage is starting to put together. But these mid pushes have been somewhat difficult. Destrian's been holding for this fight, and it's just easy for them to do this.
It's insane. I mean, take a look at that top. I think at this point in time, Ryan, they're trying to hit the B side over heaven again and again, but they're punching a concrete wall. And it's not like they're using a sledgehammer or everything. They just get a bloody fist, and it's just worse and worse. Again and again. Same strategy, same smoke.
Last player standing.
I mean, it was a round where nothing was really going to come of it. This one, however, has to be big for Big. They have lots of ultimates to work with. Yeah, I feel like when you have that showstopper, the Resurrect, you've got plenty just in case it all goes wrong. Magician's done well to shut down this early pressure, but it doesn't work out this time. Big find out.
They do.
Obnox.
Makes
Teleported to the spawn, gets a kill before he gets killed. What a time to show up. BQ's now back on the site. He's the scariest player so far. The showstopper even dedicated shows that the Big aren't taking any chances.
No, they aren't. The problem is, though, they're playing against high opposition. PQ, an individual that has played under the big V. Vitality picked him up, and that for a reason. He could still try to take the risk. Has 3k left in the bank account. But does he do it? He's taken the approach over his spawn, but it must be exits at this point, Ryan. Time's ticking too fast.
If EQ maybe at least wants to punish one player, he can't do that. I thought he was going to get down to Aslan, but no, he just predicts the right corner, reacts first. What's the money like now for All the Rage? Just good enough to put together a buy at this point. Big ultimates were spent. The showstopper mostly from Aslan that did get a kill. It did have impact. Bishop has the smash glass for emergency button with the res. Both teams having rolling thunders. Fiku's had so many so far. 22 and 15 now, caught up to Obnox, who has been quieter on the attack overall. Still effective. All the Rage is still in this, but Big can close it out in this round.
They can. They absolutely can. Finally set the pace again in the direction. That should work. And then once more, over be having once more, pulling them in, 3 frags secured. No, it's not happening. Pedestrian and his pull, not as easy as he thought it would be. And suddenly they're on the site.
You will not kill my ally.
Resurrect's going to bring it up. This is 2. The showstopper's going to be used very early on. It gets that 1 kill on Alexar, who was just ball bracketed to the server. Rolling Thunder actually gives a bit of a boost to Kragon, but makes it an easier target for God B. Bigger on match point. All the Rage will have little money to work with, and no ultimates either.
This is insane stuff. This is where I thought this must be easy frags. But I was horribly wrong. And the quarterfinal seems to go in the way of Big, but in what fashion, right? They're somewhat struggling against a Lithuanian mix, which it's still nice to see the win, don't get me wrong. Obnox delivering perfect, but towards the final it might get difficult.
I said no ultimates. All the Rage have all of the ultimates. I was looking at Big by accident. So there's still a lot to work with for all the Rage. Lockdown might be nice. Holding cute angles with worse weaponry. He's gonna press. It's completely caught out. That was unnecessary, really, overall. All the Rage, 4 players alive, 4 ultimates available, including the res. But where Kragon died, he's not going to be back in the server for this round, at least.
Obnox does Obnox things, even as an attacker. But those ults, game changers, 100%. Rolling Thunder, you're up in the air. Astra denying all the room in a specific area. And obviously the Killjoy ult that's already on it. Maybe a little too early, I feel like, but just a maybe. And Aslan, oh no, he's gonna be paid. The man has all the time in his world to make it different. And as he moves over heaven, he starts to get tense. Definitely wants to find a little more. Astra's in his way and takes on the first. Another one comes in. Aslan saves the day. And all the Rage only got a single soldier left.
And of course, Big going the opposite direction of where this player is. Aslan's going to go hunt for that final frag. Spike is going down. The duel is won.
Attackers win.
And Big managed to close out Split. He managed to close out the best of 3. And they'll be going on to the semi-finals.